What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Idils here, and today we're going to be doing a Arc Raiders weapon tier list. This tier list is going to be based on PvP only. We're not going to be getting into what weapons are best against Arc. That'll be a separate video. This is strictly for PvP, so be sure to check this out. Make sure you are kitted and ready to fight. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like down below, hit that subscribe button, and click the bell to make sure you're notified next time we come out with a new video. Let's get into it. All right, so here we have our Arc Raiders tier list all set up. We're going to be ranking these a little bit different. We're not going to be doing this based solely on straight up what is going to get you the best damage per second. We're going to factor in a couple of different things. First thing we're going to consider, of course, is how effective it is going to be in combat. That is the most important thing, right? We're also going to factor in the cost value of the weapon. For example, a Bobcat is great, but we also have the Stitcher. And again, this is a personal tier list. This isn't end all be all. Everyone's going to have their favorite weapons. This is just my personal opinion. So starting off, we have the Anvil. Now, a lot of people are pretty split on the Anvil. Personally, this is one of my absolute favorite guns here. It's a two-shot headshot with any shield, essentially. Heavy shield, might be able to get away with it, but two-shot headshot, pretty much any shield, especially at level 2, 3, 4, you're going to have a much faster fire rate, and the cost to craft an Anvil makes it... I know we're starting off strong, but... we're going to put it A tier. We'll put it A tier for now. Bill, if you have an Anvil blueprint, that is one of the best things you could find in the game. Just for the cost to value you get out of the weapon, it is insane. Next up, we have the Arpeggio. Now, I know there's going to be a few people down in the comments who are Arpeggio apologists, we'll call them. This weapon is cheeks. I don't care what level you get it up to. This gun is absolute dumpster. We're throwing that into the D tier. Next up, we have the Betina. Now, this is our first epic weapon that we're going to be looking at. I'm very split on the Betina, okay, because I've had fights where things have gone well for me, things have gone bad for me, and I'm honestly not too sure how to feel about it. It does take a little bit more to craft than some of the other weapons that we're going to look into today. Personally, I feel like the amount of heavy ammo you have to bring for it to be effective, it it's it's a hard C tier for me. It's a hard C tier. I feel much more comfortable with some of these other weapons in my hands than a Betina, and the amount that you're losing if you don't win that fight is much more consequential. Maybe it gets bumped up, but it's going to be at the top of C tier. The Bobcat. Now, I know this is everyone's favorite gun. We see Bobcats, our eyes lighten up. I like it. I like the Bobcat. Do I think it's the best gun in the game? I'm going to say no. I think the Bobcat is solid. Don't get me wrong, especially once you level it up a little bit. But again, we're looking at the cost value of a lot of these weapons. And to get a Bobcat up to level 4, to kit it out with good attachments, it's going to cost you significantly more than something like a Stitcher. That's not to say that the Bobcat doesn't shred, especially in the right hands. We're going to put the Bobcat in B tier, not because of how it performs, simply for the cost to get into a good Bobcat. I just think kind of shies me away from it from time to time. Then we have the Berleta. Now, again, this is another weapon I'm kind of lukewarm on. Is it my preferred weapon to have as my secondary? Absolutely not. But I do think it has some really good value, especially when paired with some other weapons like a Pharaoh and El Toro, for example, something that can really take shields off pretty quickly. And you pull out this Berleta and finish them off. I think it's a solid B tier, personally. I think it's a solid B tier for what it is. I think you can get some good value out of it. Okay, on to our first energy weapon, the Equalizer. Now, I haven't had much experience with the Equalizer. I did pick it up one time And I've used it a handful of other times. It's not my favorite thing. It doesn't personally fit my playstyle, but it does absolutely shred. The cost to craft one of these, the amount of resources that you're putting in to get this out, as soon as someone hears you shooting this thing, people are going to swarm you. You're going to get third party, and you're probably going to lose it unless you're really good. So for that reason, I'm going to put it in the C tier, but we're going to put it above the Betina. Yeah, we're gonna put it above the Betina in C tier because I do understand it is very capable, but it's just personally for me not my favorite. Now we're on to the real stuff, the Pharaoh. Now listen, I don't care what anybody has to say. The Pharaoh is the best gun in the game. Now, hear me out. You're like, I hear it already. Oh, it's a great weapon. It's one shot. You got to reload after every shot. I don't care. Get a Pharaoh, boost it up to level 4. Put a suppressor on it. Put a stock on it. This is the best gun in the game. Absolutely breaks any shield anywhere you hit them, especially paired with something that's nice at close range. There's very few times that I have a Pharaoh that I wish I didn't, right? Free kit spawn with a Pharaoh, it's game over. Ferro is absolutely our first S tier weapon when you take into account the cost to get one. You can get one for free. Just go into a free loadout and just hope that you get it. Do it a few times. You get them for free. It costs nothing to craft it. It costs pretty much nothing to get it up to level 4. If you don't have 15 Pharaohs in your stash ready to go, you're doing it wrong. Then we go on to the hairpin. Now, what are we doing? What are we doing? I've used this thing a few times. That's where it belongs. Hole Cracker. Not even sure why the Hole Cracker's on here. It's really not a PvP weapon. So we're going to just put that into the D tier. Then we go on to the Il Toro, which is one of 2 shotguns in the game. Now, I really like the Il Toro. I think it's great. Level 1, level 2 shoots a little slow. Don't get me wrong. But once you get it up to 3 and 4, um, I think it's great. I think it's especially on a map like Salamantas, or if you're fighting anywhere that's indoors, close quarters, the Il Toro is absolutely gonna rip for you. I think the Il Toro is one of the best guns in the game, and personally, it's gonna be in my A tier. A Anvil Il Toro combo right here, this A tier combo right here, is absolutely goated. Now we move on to the Jupiter. Now the Jupiter again, it's one of these energy rifles. It's a bolt action. It does really solid damage, but again, the cost of bringing this out when you can bring in a Pharaoh, it's just not worth it to me. It's not worth it. When the Pharaoh exists and it's as good as it is, I see no reason to bring a Jupiter out. For those of us who didn't do the first expedition, that money matters, right? We're trying to get that 5 million for the next expedition. I'm not going to be running out there with Jupiters. We're going to put this above the Hull Cracker in D tier. It's not that I don't like it, it's that there's just so much better options. Onto the Kettle, the Macro King Kettle. A lot of controversy with the Kettle. Seems some people seem to be using Logitech macros to just shoot at a million rounds per second. I don't do that. I think I have a pretty fast left click, and it shoots pretty fast. And let me tell you, the Kettle is damn good. Similar to the Pharaoh, it's one of these base tier gray weapons that doesn't take much to either craft and to get up to level 4. Headshot machine. This Kettle, it is slowly become one of my favorite guns in the game, my preferred secondary in the game. It costs nothing to make, and it costs nothing to get it up to a level 4. It costs nothing to craft like a level 2 light mag, for example. It is simply for the value you get out of a Kettle, it has to be S tier. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, he's putting all the epic and legendary weapons low, and he's going to put all these garbage gray and green guns up at the top. Well, let me explain, right? Like I said in the beginning of the video, we're looking at the cost associated with bringing these out and how much you lose if you happen to lose it. Okay. You lose a Jupiter, you lose a Betina, that's a tough loss, right? You're coming out of that raid not happy. You lose a Pharaoh, you lose a Kettle, hell, you even lose an Anvil, it's not that big a deal. Craft another one. You probably have five others sitting in your stash. You don't have five Betinas all the time. You don't have five Jupiters all the time. That's what we're talking about here. I guarantee you some of these weapons up here are going to do just as good, if not outperform a lot of these weapons. Now we're going to move on to the Osprey. Osprey has been one of my favorite weapons. I don't use it a whole lot just because I do find it in PvP situations a little bit limiting. Most situations I find myself in with the Osprey, I kind of wish I had something different. Usually, if I'm bringing out an Osprey, it's going to be like an Osprey Venator combo just as that sidearm. But I do really like the Osprey. And I do think it is very good for PvP, especially if you're lurking around and you catch a good, a good flank on someone. You could really do some serious damage. I think the Osprey is a very good, capable weapon, but for me, it's going to be in the B tier. It's going to be at the top of B tier, simply for situational use. I think just situationally, you have to go in with the purpose of using the Osprey for a specific purpose rather than just a general weapon to run around with. Next up, we have the Rattler. Okay. The Rattler, whew, man, level 1 Rattler is probably the worst gun in the game. I mean, 10 shots, single bullet reload, it it's pretty awful at level 1. Once you get it up to level 4, it's pretty decent, but again, still single bullet reload. I think it's a 22 in the clip once you get it to level 4, I want to say. And I just don't find myself bringing it out very much. For me, this is going to be a bottom of D tier. There's really no scenario that I want to have a Rattler in my hands. Next up, we have the Renegade. Now, I'm going to just put out a quick disclaimer right now. I have the most fun in PvP when I have a Renegade. Whether it's a level 1 Renegade with no attachments to a level 4 Renegade fully kitted, the Renegade is the absolute funnest gun in the game for me to use as a mouse and keyboard player. Incredible damage, lever action. You're going to get incredible fire rate compared to something like a Pharaoh, or honestly, the Anvil has slightly better fire rate, but I don't know, man. I just love the Renegade. There's something about it. It is a blue weapon, so it does cost a little bit to craft it, or you can buy it. I think it's 21,000 space dollars if you want to buy it. But for me, the Renegade's an absolute S tier weapon. I'm not going to put it over the Pharaoh or the Kettle, simply because of the cost to craft it. But I love the Renegade. There's very few weapons that I would rather have in the game than the Renegade. Now on to probably the most controversial gun of them all, the Stitcher. Now, we've all seen the videos, we've all seen the comparison tests of the Bobcat and the Stitcher, where the Stitcher kind of outperforms the Bobcat in certain scenarios. And a lot of people don't like that. For me, in my experience, the Stitcher is great, but you really have to know how to use it. When you level it up, it does have, some advantages, faster reload. You can get extended mags on it, of course. Extended mag 2 and up is really great on a Stitcher. I personally love the Stitcher. I loved it a lot more in the beginning of the game, but I've slowly found myself steering towards the Kettle more as a secondary versus the Stitcher. But that's not to say the Stitcher is not fantastic. It's not going to be the most versatile weapon. You definitely need to pair it with something else, in my opinion. But again, it is incredibly strong. It is dirt cheap to craft. It's dirt cheap to get up to level 4. So for that reason, we're going to put it in the middle of A tier. right behind the Anvil and in front of the Il Toro. All right, and next we have the Tempest. The Tempest is actually one of the few epic weapons that I actually really enjoy to use. Only brought it out a handful of times, but every time I have, I've absolutely shredded with it, and I've gotten out with it every single time. I think it does incredible damage. I think it's versatile. I think the weapon looks cool in your hand. I know that that shouldn't matter, but um, I love the Tempest. I think it's great. I think it's one of the better weapons in the game. Shooting medium ammo, I think really puts it over the top. You get that nice balance of mobility and damage output. We're gonna go to the bottom of A tier, just because it does cost a lot to bring a Tempest out, and it does suck losing a Tempest. So, but it is an A tier weapon in my opinion. The Torrente. So I don't have much experience using the Torrente. It just doesn't fit my playstyle per se. But I do have a few people on my squad that use the Torrente and they absolutely melt with it. I'm more of a, slide around, hit you with a shot, roll back into cover, pull out the Stitcher, bop, bop, bop. Couple of my friends, they're more sit back, wait for the enemy to come in, hit them on a choke point. And when you have a Torrente, there's very few weapons in the game that are going to outperform that. So I'm going to put the Torrente in B tier above the Berleta, just because of the special use case. It's not going to fit everyone's playstyle, but I do think it is very effective. The Venator, the Ven Diesel. For my money, give me a Venator. Best gun in the game. In the right hands, okay? You have to hit your shots. But if you are hitting good shots, have good movement, there's no one that's beating you with a Ven in your hand. And last but not least, we have the Volcano. Now, the Volcano is the second shotgun that we have in the game besides the Il Toro. Il Toro being a green tier weapon, the Volcano being an epic tier weapon. When I bring out a Volcano, do I feel that it's that much better than an Il Toro? No. Give me a level 4 Il Toro over a Volcano any day, in my opinion. And the Volcano is definitely going to have a faster fire rate, don't get me wrong, but I would just rather have an El Toro. It doesn't cost that much to bring it out, and you're going to get the same results. All right, so that's going to wrap up our Arc Raiders weapon tier list. I know probably a little controversial. I know some of you guys are going to be pretty upset with me, but again, this is just my personal opinion. I would love to hear what you guys think about my tier list here. What are your favorite weapons? What have been some of your favorite weapons so far in the game? What are some weapons you think are a little overrated? And what are some weapons that you think need to be tuned? Because I know a lot of people are calling for the Stitcher to be tuned and things like that. So there may be changes on the horizon. Who knows? But for right now, this is my personal weapon tier list. This is what I'm going into to combat with almost every time. Again, if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like down below, hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell icon to make sure you're notified next time we drop a new video. All right, everyone. Peace.